The price of pride. High Counselor Sixtel stood before the Grand Chamber's viewing window, their crystalline form refracting the light of a dying star. The Mesiphon system's primary sun had turned an angry red, not from natural stellar evolution, but from something far more sinister. Behind them, the emergency session of the Galactic Council descended into chaos. "We've lost contact with the Helios Defense Fleet," announced Admiral Vera, her bioluminescent patterns flashing distress signals. "The entropy wave, it's accelerating. 3 more systems have gone dark in the past solar rotation." Sixtel's crystalline fragments shifted in what their species considered a sigh. For 10,000 years, the Council had maintained order among the stars. Their technology had conquered distance, their science had mastered matter, and their philosophers had mapped the very laws of existence, or so they had believed. "Show me the progression," they commanded. The chamber's holographic display illuminated, revealing a 3-dimensional map of the galaxy. Red markers indicated affected systems, spreading like a cancer through the ordered perfection of Council space. The pattern was elegant in its horror, each jump following complex mathematical principles that their best minds had failed to decrypt. "The axiom arrays have failed," reported Chief Scientist Nenko, their tentacles writhing in agitation. "Every solution we implement is absorbed and turned against us. It's as if the wave learns from our attempts to stop it." Sixtel watched as another system winked out on the display. The entropy wave didn't simply destroy, it rewrote the fundamental forces holding matter together. Planets didn't explode. They unraveled, their very atoms dancing to a tune that defied the laws of physics themselves. "Perhaps," came a quiet voice from the back of the chamber, "it is time we acknowledged our greatest mistake." All eyes turned to Elder Mirax, the oldest living member of the Council. Her species had been among the founding members, present when the first interstellar accords were signed. "We have no more time for ancient history," snapped Vera, but Sixtel raised a crystalline appendage for silence. "Speak, Elder." Mirax's ancient eyes swept the chamber. "We pride ourselves on our order, our precision, our perfect understanding of the universe's laws. But there exists a species that thrives in chaos, that makes art from disorder, that breaks rules we never knew could be broken." A murmur of discomfort rippled through the assembly. They all knew of whom she spoke. "The humans were quarantined for a reason," Nenko protested. "Their development is erratic, unpredictable. They went from primitive combustion engines to quantum mechanics in less than 2 centuries. They theorize impossible things and then force reality to comply." "Exactly," Mirax smiled. "While we built our civilization on understanding the universe's laws, they delight in finding the loopholes. While we perfect a technology over centuries, they make impossible leaps through intuition and illogical inspiration. They are everything we are not. And perhaps that is exactly what we need." Sixtel turned from the window, their crystalline surface reflecting the red light of the dying star. "The quarantine protocols around Sol system have been in place for 300 years. An entire generation of humans has grown up never knowing they weren't alone in the cosmos." "They know they aren't alone," Mirax corrected. "They just haven't proven it yet. But they never stopped looking, never stopped questioning. Even our best cloaking technologies barely keep pace with their advancing detection systems. They've already theorized concepts our scientists insist are impossible. And the troubling thing is, their theories keep working." The chamber erupted in argument again, but Sixtel had already made their decision. The entropy wave had consumed another system in the time they'd spent debating. The ordered approach had failed. Perhaps it was time for chaos. "Send the signal," they commanded. "Drop the quarantine. All of it." "High Counselor," Vera protested, "the humans will demand answers. They will be angry." "They should be," Mirax said softly. "We denied them their birthright among the stars. We watched them struggle and quest and theorize, and we hid ourselves away. Their anger is the least of what we deserve." Sixtel's form pulsed with grim determination. Better they be angry and alive than at peace and dead. Send the signal, and prepare a full confession. Every detail of how we've hidden ourselves, how we've redirected their probes, masked their signals, distorted their view of the cosmos. They deserve to know everything. And if they refuse to help us? Nenko asked. Then we deserve our fate, Zixtal replied. But I don't think they will refuse. If there's one thing we've learned watching humanity, it's that they cannot resist a challenge, especially one everyone else has failed to solve. As the commands were relayed and the great machinery of the Council began the process of revealing itself to Earth, Zixtal returned their gaze to the dying star. Soon, billions of humans would learn that their species had been deliberately kept isolated, denied contact, held back from their destiny among the stars. Their reaction would either doom or save the galaxy. The entropy wave consumed another star system, its perfect pattern of destruction spreading ever closer to Earth. Humanity would soon face not only the truth of their cosmic quarantine, but the greatest threat the galaxy had ever known. The Council could only hope that the same chaos that had made them fear humanity would prove to be the salvation of all. Children of Chaos. Dr. Maya Patel stood in her backyard, coffee growing cold in her hands as she stared at the impossible sight in the morning sky. The massive alien vessel hung over Seattle like a geometric dream, its crystalline surface catching the sunrise in ways that defied physics. Similar ships had appeared over every major city on Earth simultaneously, their arrival preceded by a message that had hijacked every screen on the planet. Well, she muttered, at least my tenure committee can't reject my quantum mechanics papers now. Her phone buzzed. Another message from the emergency session at the University of Washington's physics department. As one of the world's leading theoretical physicists, particularly in chaos theory applications to quantum systems, she'd been drafted into humanity's hastily assembled first contact team. The alien ship's message had been comprehensive, almost embarrassingly so. The Galactic Council had not only revealed their existence, but confessed to centuries of active concealment. They'd included enough technical data about their methods to keep scientists busy for decades, if they survived that long. Maya's autonomous car arrived just as her phone buzzed again. This time it was her brother Arun, calling from NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory. She answered while sliding into the vehicle. Let me guess. You're saying I told you so about all those anomalous readings you kept finding. They'd been gaslighting us, Maya. Arun's voice crackled with equal parts outrage and excitement. Every time we got close to detecting them, they just rewrote physics in that local area. Do you realize what this means? Every time we thought our instruments were malfunctioning, every time we dismissed data as impossible, we were actually observing their manipulations. And now they need our help because their perfect understanding of physics is failing them, Maya said, watching the alien ship grow larger as her car approached campus. Have you seen the data they sent about this entropy wave? That's why I'm calling. The Council's scientists have been trying to stop it with traditional physics, treating it like a normal phenomenon that follows consistent rules. But look at the pattern of its spread. Maya pulled up the data on her tablet. The visualization showed the wave's progression through galaxy, system by system. It's beautiful, she breathed. It's like a jazz improvisation in mathematical form. Exactly. They keep trying to predict where it will go next using standard models, but it's not following any fixed pattern. It's like it's responding to their attempts to stop it, learning from them, adapting. Like a conversation, Maya finished, or maybe more like a dance. She'd reached the physics building, where a crowd of colleagues had gathered around the massive screens displaying real-time data from the Council ships. I need to go, Arun. They're waiting for me. Inside, she found Professor Chen from Applied Mathematics already scrawling equations across multiple holographic displays. He barely looked up as she entered. Dr. Patel. Good, you're here. Tell me I'm not crazy. Look at these entropy patterns. Maya studied the equations, her mind already racing ahead to implications that both thrilled and terrified her. "It's not random destruction," she said slowly. "The wave isn't just consuming systems. It's playing with them, testing them, like a child taking apart a toy to see how it works. A child with the power to unravel reality." Chen agreed. "But look at how it responds when the Council tries to stop it. Every time they establish a barrier using their advanced technology, the wave doesn't just break through. It incorporates their defense into its pattern." Maya felt laughter bubbling up inside her, the kind of slightly hysterical joy that came with a massive breakthrough. "Oh my God, they've been doing exactly the wrong thing. Every perfect, orderly solution they attempt just makes it stronger." The room had gone quiet, alien and human scientists alike turning to stare at her. A crystalline being she recognized from the Council's introduction as High Counselor Zixtal stepped forward. "Explain." Maya gestured at the displays. "You've been trying to fight chaos with order, to impose rigid solutions on a system that feeds on predictability. But look, every time you try to contain it with your perfect technological barriers, the wave doesn't just break them down. It learns from them, absorbs them, grows stronger." "Then what solution could possibly exist?" asked one of the alien scientists, their bioluminescent patterns expressing clear skepticism. "If order cannot contain chaos, what can?" Maya smiled, remembering countless nights spent in jazz clubs, watching musicians riff off each other's improvisation, creating order from chaos and chaos from order in an endless dance. "You don't contain chaos," she said. "You join the dance." She turned to her colleagues. "We need to stop thinking like physicists trying to solve an equation. We need to think like jazz musicians joining a jam session. The wave isn't just destroying reality. It's playing with it. So let's play back." The alien scientists recoiled in horror, but Maya saw understanding dawn in human eyes around the room. Professor Chen was already pulling up new simulations, his fingers flying across the holographic controls. "You propose to add more chaos to an already chaotic system?" Zixtal asked, their crystalline form vibrating with concern. "That seems insane." Maya grinned. "Welcome to Earth, where some of our greatest breakthroughs came from embracing insanity. Now, who's ready to help me teach this entropy wave how to dance?" The human factor. The Lunar Research Complex had never seen such a strange assembly of beings. Holographic displays filled the cavernous main chamber, their light playing across crystalline forms, bioluminescent appendages, and human faces alike. At the center of it all stood a device that seemed to offend the very sensibilities of the Council scientists. The Chaos Engine. "This is madness," muttered Chief Scientist Nenko, their tentacles writhing in distress. "You cannot fight entropy with more entropy." Maya adjusted another set of quantum controls, her fingers dancing across interfaces that deliberately defied standard design principles. "That's exactly what we're going to do. Think of it like fighting fire with fire. Sometimes you have to burn away fuel to stop a wildfire's advance." The Chaos Engine was humanity's answer to the entropy wave, but it wasn't a weapon in any conventional sense. Instead of trying to impose order on the wave, it would inject calculated disorder, unpredictable quantum fluctuations designed to disrupt the wave's own patterns. "The demonstration is ready," announced Arun from his station. He'd been pulled from JPL to help coordinate the massive array of sensors they'd need to monitor the test. "We've selected an uninhabited system near the wave's advance." High Counselor Zixtal's crystalline form shifted uneasily. "You understand that if this fails, if you make the wave stronger, then we try something else," Maya finished. "That's what humans do. We adapt, we learn, we try again. We don't expect perfection on the first attempt." The Council members exchanged troubled glances. The concept of intentionally planning for failure was alien to their ordered minds, but they had run out of alternatives. "Begin the test," Zixtal commanded. Maya took a deep breath and initiated the sequence. On the main display, they watched as the Chaos Engine's influence reached out across space, carried by quantum entanglement channels the Council hadn't even known were possible. The target system glowed with artificial chaos, its very quantum substrate becoming a dance of probability and possibility. Entropy wave approaching test zone, Arun reported, his voice tense. Impact in 30 seconds. The chamber fell silent. Even the normally chattering council scientists stood transfixed as they watched humanity's insane gambit unfold. The entropy wave, visible as a front of mathematical perfection consuming reality itself, reached the edge of their test system and hesitated. "It's working," Professor Chen exclaimed, pointing to the readings. "Look at the pattern. The wave's trying to absorb our chaos just like it did the Council's order, but it can't find a pattern to latch onto." Maya watched the numbers flowing across her display, her heart racing. "It's more than that," she said softly. "It's not just failing to absorb our chaos, it's responding to it, like it's curious." The entropy wave had completely halted its advance into the test system. Instead, it seemed to be interacting with the chaos engine's output, creating complex patterns that shifted and evolved with each passing second. "By all the laws of physics," Nenko breathed, "it's playing." "Of course it is," Maya smiled, "because we're not trying to fight it or control it. We're inviting it to dance." But even as hope began to bloom in the chamber, alarms suddenly blared. The wave's behavior was changing, its patterns shifting in ways none of their models had predicted. "Energy readings are off the scale," Arun shouted. "Something's happening to the quantum substrate of the entire system." The main display erupted in a cascade of light, as reality itself seemed to transform. When the sensors cleared, the test system was different. Not destroyed, as all previous systems had been, but changed in fundamental ways that defied the Council's understanding of physics. "What have you done?" Zixtal demanded, their crystalline form vibrating with alarm. Maya stared at the readings in wonder. "We didn't just stop it," she whispered. "We've made first contact." Professor Chen's fingers flew across his controls. "The wave's pattern has completely transformed. It's not consuming reality anymore. It's restructuring it. And look at these equations emerging from the chaos." "They're familiar," Maya finished, her eyes widening. "They're similar to equations we've been working on in theoretical physics, equations the Council said were impossible." Understanding dawned across the chamber. The entropy wave hadn't been a natural phenomenon or a weapon. It had been searching for something, for a mind that could comprehend it, for beings who could see past the rigid laws of physics to the chaos that undergirded all of reality. It had been searching for humans. But before they could fully process this revelation, new alarms sounded. The wave's transformed pattern was spreading, not with destruction but with purpose. And it was carrying a message, one that would shake the foundations of the Council's understanding of the universe. "We need to convene the full Council," Zixtal announced, their tone carrying something humans had never heard from the crystalline being before. "Fear. What you've done, what you've discovered, it changes everything." Maya looked at the streams of data pouring in from the transformed system, her mind already racing ahead to implications that both thrilled and terrified her. "No," she said, "we've just finally started understanding what everything really means." Symphony of destruction. The emergency council session erupted into chaos. Real chaos, not the calculated quantum dance humanity had unleashed. Representatives from 1,000 worlds argued in a cacophony of languages as the holographic displays showed the transformed entropy wave spreading across space in intricate, beautiful patterns. "It's changing course," Arun announced, his voice cutting through the noise. "The wave, it's moving toward Earth." But Maya barely heard him. She was lost in the mathematics flowing across her display, equations that seemed to write themselves in the quantum foam of spacetime. "It's not an it," she whispered. "It's a they." High Counselor Zixtal turned their crystalline form toward her. "Explain." "The entropy wave isn't a natural phenomenon or a weapon," Maya said, her voice growing stronger as understanding crystallized. "It's an intelligence. No, multiple intelligences. They're ancient. They've been waiting." Professor Chen was nodding, his own displays showing similar revelations. The wave doesn't destroy reality. It transforms it into something beyond conventional physics, something that can only be understood through chaos mathematics, Maya finished, through quantum jazz, through human thinking. The council chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. Elder Mirak stepped forward, her ancient eyes fixed on the spreading patterns. Then all this time, when we thought we were protecting the galaxy from humanity's chaos, you were actually preventing us from meeting the ones who came before, Maya said. The ones who seeded the galaxy with the potential for chaos, for evolution, for change itself. On the main display, the transformed wave continued its advance toward Earth, but now they could see it for what it was, a vast network of quantum intelligences dancing through the substrate of reality itself. Where it passed, ordered systems transformed into something new, something that bridged the gap between matter and consciousness. They're not destroying. Arun breathed, watching the readings. They're awakening. A new set of equations blossomed across the quantum channels, and Maya felt her mind expand as she began to grasp their meaning. The entropy wave beings hadn't been attacking the galaxy. They had been searching for minds that could comprehend them, testing each species they encountered. The council races, with their perfect order and rigid adherence to conventional physics, had been unable to even perceive what they really were. But humans, with their quantum jazz and embrace of chaos. We need to broadcast, Maya said suddenly, turning to the assembled council. Not just from Earth, from every quantum resonator you have. We need to show them we understand, that we're ready to. She never finished the sentence. The chamber's displays erupted in a cascade of light as reality itself seemed to twist. When their vision cleared, they weren't alone anymore. They manifested as shifting patterns of probability, beings of pure quantum potential that somehow managed to convey both ancient wisdom and childlike curiosity. The council representatives drew back in fear, but Maya stepped forward, her mind already beginning to grasp the mathematics of their existence. We have waited. They communicated, not in words, but in elegant quantum equations that Maya's consciousness translated into understanding. We scattered the seeds of chaos throughout this galaxy, knowing that eventually some would grow into minds that could comprehend us. The council's order was necessary. Another pattern shifted, its mathematics expressing complex harmonies. It provided the structure from which true chaos, true creativity, could emerge. Humanity is the bridge we have sought. Maya felt laughter bubbling up inside her. All this time, they thought they were protecting the galaxy from us. But really, you were being protected until you were ready, the quantum beings confirmed. Protected and prepared. The council's fear of your chaos was itself part of the pattern, the final catalyst needed to complete your species' development. High Counselor Zixtal's crystalline form vibrated with distress. Everything we believed about the universe, about physics, about order, was exactly what you needed to believe. The beings resonated. Until now. The galaxy stands at a crossroads. Order and chaos must learn to dance together, or both will fade. That is why we have awakened. Professor Chen was already working on new equations, his eyes bright with understanding. The quantum jazz we created with the chaos engine. It wasn't just similar to your mathematics by coincidence, was it? We were rediscovering your language. The first words, they confirmed. Now it is time for the conversation to truly begin. Evolution's children. The next 3 days transformed humanity's understanding of everything. As the quantum beings shared their knowledge, Earth's scientists worked around the clock, translating cosmic mathematics into comprehensible theories. The council watched in equal parts terror and wonder as humans did what they did best, adapted, learned, and evolved at an unprecedented rate. Maya hadn't slept in 36 hours, sustained by a combination of caffeine and sheer excitement. So let me get this straight, she said, addressing both the council and the quantum beings whose shifting patterns now filled half the chamber. You've been guiding human evolution since before we walked upright. We scattered the seeds, the beings replied in their mathematical language, which Maya now understood almost instinctively. Your species' path was your own, but we ensured the potential for quantum consciousness remained in your genetic code. High Counselor Zixel's crystalline form had taken on a subdued hue. You knew. When we found Earth, when we decided to quarantine humanity, you knew what we would do. Your role was essential. The quantum beings confirmed. Your order provided the pressure needed to forge humanity's chaos into something new. A species that could bridge multiple states of existence, multiple ways of thinking. Arun looked up from his calculations. That's why our physics theories kept working even when they seemed impossible by Council standards. We were subconsciously tapping into quantum-level mathematics that existed beyond conventional physics. And why? Professor Chen added, we could recognize the waves' patterns as a form of communication. We've been speaking the simplified version of their language in our mathematics all along. But it was Elder Mirax who asked the question that hung heavy in the chamber. What happens now? If humanity was meant to be the bridge between order and chaos, between conventional space-time and quantum consciousness, the quantum beings' patterns shifted in what Maya had come to recognize as their equivalent of satisfaction. Now you face a choice. The galaxy stands at a crossroads. The old paradigm of rigid order cannot survive, but pure chaos would be equally destructive. Balance must be found. Maya felt the weight of history pressing down on her shoulders. You want us to teach them, she realized. To show the council races how to dance with chaos while maintaining their order, to help them evolve as we have. And in turn, the beings resonated. They will teach you the benefits of their structure, their organization, their accumulated wisdom of 10,000 years among the stars. Together, you will create something new. The council chamber erupted in discussion. Some representatives recoiled at the idea of changing their fundamental nature, while others showed cautious curiosity. Humanity's ambassadors were already reaching out, offering reassurance, showing an intuitive understanding of each species' concerns. There will be resistance, Zixtal noted. Many will fear this change. Of course they will. Maya smiled. Change is scary. Chaos is frightening. But look at what we've already accomplished together. She gestured at the displays showing the transformed systems, where new physics and old worked in harmony, creating possibilities that neither humanity nor the Council had imagined possible. Your quarantine had an unintended effect, the quantum beings observed. It forced humanity to look inward, to develop their unique perspectives in isolation. Now they are ready to look outward, to share those perspectives with the galaxy. Maya watched as human scientists worked seamlessly with Council researchers, each bringing their own strengths to the challenges ahead. The quantum beings' patterns danced around them all, their ancient consciousness helping to bridge the gaps between different ways of thinking. We're going to need a new name for the Council, Arun mused, something that reflects this new balance. The names will come, the quantum beings assured them. The structures will emerge. But first, the dance must begin. As if in response, the chaos engine hummed to life, its quantum fluctuations harmonizing with both the ordered technology of the Council and the mathematical songs of the ancient beings. In that moment, Maya understood what her equations had been trying to tell her all along. The universe wasn't a place of pure order or pure chaos. It was a dance between the two, a constant evolution of possibility into reality and back again. Humanity hadn't been quarantined because they were dangerous. They had been protected until they were ready to teach this dance to the stars. Well, Maya said, turning to the assembled beings of all three paradigms, order, chaos, and the bridge between. Shall we begin? The quantum beings' patterns shifted in joy. The Council representatives straightened with new purpose, and humanity did what they had always done best. They took the first step into the unknown, ready to improvise, adapt, and transform whatever they found there. The dance of evolution was about to begin anew, and this time, the whole galaxy would learn its steps.